Hey lawyer, need you to fight a case. There has been a robbery at our warehouse. Please take up this case.
Another new case? Oh no, 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 no. Haven't you heard the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, and Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam have replaced the foundational laws which I have been practicing for years, like the Indian Penal Code, Criminal Procedure Code, and Indian Evidence Act. So now I have to go through the additional trouble of going through all of these laws to understand and make sensible decisions for your case. This is too much trouble.
Wait, don't tell me you haven't heard of Google's Gemini. With its long context window, multimodal input support, and context caching features is the perfect solution for all your problems. Come, let me show you using Vertex AI.
Starts very simply by setting up our Vertex AI account, and Kaggle makes it a breeze setting up Vertex AI with their efficient integration with Google Cloud SDK. However, if you are on a local and want to set up things, you can follow this very interesting guide by the Google Cloud team. But let's jump back to our Kaggle notebook. After we are done setting up Vertex AI, we load the documents, the large legal files, in our case the BNS, the BNSS, and the Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam. With Gemini, you have the flexibility of loading it directly from the URL itself. However, since this competition requires file to be read from a Kaggle dataset, we download them to a Kaggle dataset and read it from there. After we are done with the files, we give a brief description of the case itself to the model and the questions we want the model to answer, right? Now, a very interesting kind of witnesses you might have seen in such criminal proceedings are video testimonies. Like it can be video of eyewitnesses, and Gemini, being natively a multimodal large language model, can process video files as input directly. So let's have a look at one of the eyewitnesses for this case.
My lord, I am a night watchman at the warehouse from where the equipments were stolen. I have seen Rajesh leaving the warehouse at the night of the crime.
Okay, that's a very strong eyewitness, and I'm sure this will help the case. After we're done with that, we give some system instruction to the model. So these are the nitty-gritties we want the model to follow, the additional information we want the model to know before answering, the kind of exact format we are expecting the response in. After we're done with that, you might be thinking, wait, Gemini is a paid product, and if I'm passing such long documents every time I'm making an API call, that might must cost me a fortune, right? No, this is where the good guys at Google come. They have something called as context caching. So if you have files which are not changing much between API calls, you can cache those as context for a very minimal cost. Here we cache the three legal documents that are large and not changing too much into a context cache, right? And then we move ahead to defining some generation configuration, like setting temperature to 0 for really deterministic responses and turning off all the safety filters, because legal cases can have harmful content in them and we want Gemini to handle them graciously. Now, if you are planning to deploy these things in production and you are an advanced engineer, you might be interested in reading this very interesting guide by the site reliability engineering team at Google. They introduced something called as exponential backoff with jitter, and I've made a decorator function which does that same thing. It tries hitting the API multiple times with variable delay between them in case it's failing for rare occasions. After we do that, we come to our generate function, wherein we are passing the mm, case details and the video testimony only, and we are loading the cached legal documents from the context we cached earlier, and we wait for the response, and you can see we get a really detailed response with proper sections mentioned, proper formatting followed, and even subsections are mentioned. So this is the kind of precision we need in legal cases. And we end this notebook by printing the token usage to see what really happened.